Okay, please confirm. Can you see the slide or not?
Yes, sir. Slide is visible.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So this was the last topic which we discussed. Forced vibration response of the single degree of freedom system. So response of single degree of freedom system to the harmonic loading. The first case was response of the single degree of freedom system because when the system is undamped. Okay, this one we can repeat. Simplest kind of loading is the harmonic loading, and these are different forms of the harmonic loading. I will quickly overview these slides because we have already discussed in detail in the class. So these are the different forms of the harmonic loading. This is the exponential form, cosine function, or the sine function. F naught is the amplitude of the harmonic loading. Omega is the frequency of the applied loading. Phi is the phase angle. If the loading is harmonic, the response is also harmonic. And the examples of the harmonic loadings are rotating machines with large residual imbalance, vehicles traveling on the pavement, corrugations, are the sinusoidal surfaces. They can cause the harmonic loading. This is the equation of motion for the single degree freedom system. Total solution is the sum of homogeneous part of the solution and the particular part of the solution. Homogeneous part is the free vibration response, and the particular part is the forced vibration response. So free vibration response for the single degree freedom system we have already discussed in detail. Now we are going to find out the forced vibration response. So total response is the sum of free vibration response and the forced vibration response. Look at this response. The system is underdamped. That's why amplitude vibration is decreasing in each cycle. Here the loading is harmonic. The response because of the harmonic loading is also harmonic. We can add the homogeneous response and the forced vibration response, particular part of the solution, homogeneous part of the solution, and this is a total response. Total response is the sum of free vibration response and the forced vibration response. And the first top part we discussed was the response of single degree freedom system because of harmonic loading when the system is undamped. So this is the loading, this is the equation of motion, system is undamped, damping factor that is equal to 0. So there is no damping force here. For the free, this is a free vibration response. Already we have derived this equation. Loading is harmonic. The response is also harmonic. And then we can find out the value of capital X. If you remember, we defined the equivalent static force F. No, this one we have already derived on the board. So we can put the value of capital X, that is the amplitude of the because of the harmonic loading. This is the free vibration response. This is the particular part of the solution. And then we can use the initial conditions to find out the values of the constant C1 and C2. These were the constant, put the values of the constant. And this is the equation to find out the response, displacement response of undamped single degree freedom system because of the harmonic loading. If you remember, we defined the term delta ST. Delta ST is the equivalent static displacement because of the equivalent static force equal to F naught. F naught is the amplitude of the harmonic loading. And here, if we have the equivalent force, which is equal to the amplitude of the harmonic loading, so the static displacement will be equal to the applied force divided by the stiffness. And then we derive this expression on the board. Capital X over delta ST, 1 over 1 minus omega over omega n square. What is capital X? Any student? Your section is A. And today is, I think, 23rd. Capital X क्या है बेटा?
Sir, dynamic displacement.
For the class participation, beta.
Dynamic displacement.
This is the dynamic displacement. You are right. Amplitude, dynamic amplitude. Delta ST
Static
Delta ST is
displacement.
the static displacement. Omega is the frequency of the exciting force, and omega n
Natural frequency.
natural frequency of the system.
Natural frequency.
And what we have given this factor the name. What was the name of this factor? Capital X over delta ST.
Amplification factor.
Amplification factor.
Amplification
Okay, marks की बात
factor,
की थी।
amplification ratio. Amplification ratio is the ratio of the dynamic amplitude to the static displacement. And this amplification factor is the function of the frequency ratios, frequency of the exciting force to the natural frequency of the system. It's very important. Then we discussed how the amplification factor varies with the change in the frequency ratios. This was the graph, if you remember. When omega over omega n is less than 1. Omega n for a particular system is a constant value. If you will change the system, then the omega n will be different. Otherwise, for a particular system, omega n is a single value. But we can change the omega values. So with the change in the omega to omega n ratio, how the amplification factor will change. When omega over omega n is less than 1, in that case, with the increase in the omega over omega n ratio, the amplification factor will increase. When omega over omega n is equal to 0, what does it mean? Or it is very close to 0. The amplification factor is equal to 1. इसका मतलब क्या है? Amplification
Resonance.
factor. जी बेटा.
So when it is equal to 1, it will be called as resonance.
नहीं बेटा नहीं. Dynamic amplitude and the static displacement, they are the same. That's why capital X over delta S is equal to 1. So when static displacement and the dynamic displacement or dynamic amplitude, they will be the same. When omega value is very, very, very small, approaches to 0, it means the force is acting very slowly. When the force is acting very slowly, it means it's almost the static force. Okay? Do you understand? When omega value is very small, in that case, omega is close to 0. The load is the dynamic, actually that dynamic load is close to the static force. So static displacement and the dynamic amplitude, they will be the same. So amplification factor is equal to 1. As you will go on increasing the omega value, because omega n is a constant value for a particular system, the amplification factor will increase. This line you can check. And the response is in phase with the applied loading when omega over omega n is less than 1. When omega over omega n is greater than 1, this value is greater than 1. In that case, with the increase in the omega value, the amplification factor will approaches to 0. इसका मतलब क्या है? For a very high frequency of the applied loading, the amplification factor will be almost 0. If the omega value is very, very high as compared to the natural frequency of the system, the body will not vibrate. It will remain static. And when omega over omega n is greater than 1, in that case, the response is out of phase. The phi angle will be 180 degree. Okay. So with the increase in the omega value, when omega over omega n is greater than 1, the amplification factor will approaches to 0. Have you witnessed this fact? I remembered we watched one video in the class.
Yes, there were 3 frames. With
the increase in the frequency of the exciting force, maybe you have observed that the first model whose frequency was low, at very high frequency, that model was almost static. That was not vibrating. That first model started to vibrate at low frequency. But with the increase in the frequency, the first model that became static. So with the increase in the omega value, the amplification factor will decrease. You can see here from this graph. And when omega over omega n is equal to 1, that is the resonance. Resonance means amplification factor will increase, and that will be the destruction, total destruction. Narottam bridge was failed because of the resonance. So amplification factor depends on the frequency ratio, omega over omega n value. It's very important. Any question? Any question? किसी का कोई question है? If you don't have any question, then we can start the next topic.
No, sir. Thank you very much.
Clear है आपको? ठीक हो गया. I listen some voice. Anybody can. जी बेटा किसी ने क्वेश्चन को नहीं है किसी किस्म का?
No, sir.
चलें जी चलें. If you don't have any question, then we can start the next topic. Next topic is response of the single degree of freedom system, so a damped single degree of freedom system to the harmonic loading. Normally some part of the derivation we do on the board. So in the online classes, we don't have that liberty. So what we can do here, I have derived the derivation. I have derived the second part on the paper, and then you can see maybe the scan copy of that. Summaries here in the slides, but more details you can see in these pages. Can you see these pages? मैं बड़ा कर दूं आपको, अगर आपको नजर आ रहे हैं तो. Let me. नहीं ये बड़ा नहीं, इस तरह नहीं होगा. जी बेटा नजर आ रहा है आपको? Response of damped single degree freedom system to harmonic loading.
Visible नहीं
sir,
screen
not
में.
visible.
No, sir.
No,
Sir,
sir.
slide share नहीं हो रही.
दो दफा बोला है, मेरे मार्क्स ज्यादा.
स्लाइड ही शो नहीं हो रही. अच्छा मे भी स्लाइड ना शो हो रही हो आपको. अब नजर आई आपको?
Yes, sir.
चले, thank you. So previous topic was response of undamped single degree freedom system to the harmonic loading. Now we are considering the damping in the system. So response of damped single degree freedom system to the harmonic loading. Equation of motion is the same. Same equation of motion. Mx double dot Cx dot plus Kx is equal to Ft. This is a dynamic load. Dynamic force is the harmonic loading. And we have the same equation as we had previously. So equation of motion for a single degree freedom system. Loading is harmonic. F load cosine of omega t. Loading is harmonic. Put the value of the loading. This is the homogeneous part of the solution for the underdamped system. Do you remember this one? This equation? E power zeta omega nt. This is the exponential decay in the system because of the damping in the system. And this is the trigonometric part of the solution. C1 cosine of omega dt plus C2 sine of omega dt. याद है? This
Yes, sir.
expression.
थोड़ी याद आ रही.
Yes, sir.
याद आ गया. Good. इसका मतलब आपको याद आने चीजें होगी. So this is the free vibration response of underdamped single degree freedom system. Free vibration response. Now we have to find out the forced vibration response. So this is a forced vibration response. XPT is equal to capital X cosine omega t minus phi. Please note down previously for the undamped case, the solution which we assumed that was capital X cosine of omega t. Now we are assuming as X cosine of omega t minus phi. I will explain it later why we have considered the phi for the damped case and we have not considered the phi for the underdamped case. Sorry, undamped case. Anyhow, this is the solution now. We want to find out the phase angle. Also, we want to find out the amplification factor because phase angle is the function of damping ratio and the frequency ratio, which we will prove today. Okay, this is a response. Particular part of the solution. Loading is harmonic. Response is also harmonic. Now what we want to find out the solution. Here in this expression, we have the acceleration velocity, but we have the displacement response here. What we can do, we can find out the derivative of this expression. We have the velocity here, we have the acceleration. Any question about this one? Clear? This one? Can you find out the
Yes,
velocity
sir.
and the acceleration? Simple. So
Yes, sir.
capital X as it is cosine omega t minus phi. The derivative is sine omega t minus phi. And then the derivative of omega t, that is omega. So this is minus omega capital X sine of omega t minus phi. One more time, you can take the derivative and we have this acceleration. Now put the values of the acceleration, displacement and the velocity in the equation of motion. So m time acceleration, put the value from this from here to here, minus omega square capital X cosine of omega t minus phi. So this is the acceleration. C time velocity from here. K time stiffness. K time the displacement from here. So just put the value of the acceleration, velocity and the displacement. On the right hand side, we have the harmonic loading, F naught cosine of omega t. Then we can simplify this expression. We have cosine of omega t minus phi with the mass and cosine of omega t minus phi with the stiffness. So we can combine the first and the third term. So K minus m omega square, capital X is in all these three terms. So we can write outside. Then we can combine this term and this term. K minus m omega square multiply with cosine of omega t minus phi. And this term will be as it is, minus CW sine of omega t minus phi. On the right hand side, we have F naught cosine of omega t. So this is the question number 5, suppose. Then we can use the trigonometric relationship. Cosine of alpha minus beta क्या होता है? What is cosine alpha minus beta? Any student?
Cos alpha, cos beta.
Cosine
Plus sine
alpha
alpha,
cosine
sine
beta plus sine alpha sine beta, यही होता है ना? Then
Yes,
sine
sir.
alpha minus beta. It's written in front of you. आपका बेटा ना रोल नंबर क्या है?
16, sir.
16. You have the marks for the class participation. Active.
Thank you, sir.
Sine alpha minus beta.
It's sine alpha, cos beta minus cos alpha, sine beta.
You are right. Sine alpha minus beta is sine alpha cos beta minus cos alpha sine beta. So already you know. So just use these identities. We can further simplify this equation. Cosine alpha, cosine omega t, cosine of phi plus sine omega t, sine of phi. Similarly, for sine omega t minus phi, we have sine omega t cosine of alpha minus cosine of omega t sine of alpha. On the right hand side, we have F naught cosine of omega t, right? So we have the term cosine omega t here, this term and this term. We can combine the first and the fourth term. X is outside, multiplied with all the terms. It can be written outside. K minus m omega square cosine of phi plus CW, because outside we have minus, it will be plus here. CW sine of phi multiply with cosine of phi. So we can add, we can write these two terms together and also these two terms together. So this term and this term is K minus omega square sine of phi, X is outside here, and then this term, this is minus CW cosine of phi multiply with sine omega t. So this term we can combine, this term we can combine. On the right hand side, we have F naught cosine of omega t. So on the left hand side, we have two terms. One term is cosine, one term is with cosine omega t, and the second term is sine omega t. And the right hand side, we have only one term. We can compare the coefficients now. Okay? So cosine omega t, it means this coefficient must be equal to F naught. So this should be equal to F naught. And then we don't have any term on the right hand side with sine omega t. So this term should be equal to 0. Okay? This term should be equal to F naught and this term should be equal to 0. Any confusion? Clear?
Yes,
We
sir.
have two terms on the right hand side, left hand side, and one term on the right hand side. So we can compare the coefficients. So we have these two equations. To make it simpler, what we can do, we can assume k minus m omega square equal to capital A and Cw equal to capital B. So A cosine of phi plus B sine of phi. Similarly, A sine of phi minus B cosine of phi. On the right hand side, this will be divided f naught capital X, and it will be divided with 0. Answer will be 0 here. So these are the simplified expressions now. What we can do now, we can take the square on both sides and then we can add the equations, equation number 8 and 9. Take the square. So A plus B square. So square of first term plus the square of second term plus 2 times the first term second term. On the right hand side, simply the square of this term. Similarly, on the left hand side, we have here A minus B. The square of first term plus the square of second term minus 2 times the first term second term. Now we can add these two equations, adding equation number 10 and 11. A square cosine of cos square phi, A square sine square phi. So when we will add, A square is outside, inside we have cosine square theta or cosine square phi plus sine square phi. That is equal to किसके बराबर होता है?
1, sir.
That is equal to 1. Similarly here, we have sine square phi, cosine square phi, that will be equal to 1. So we have b square here. These two terms will be cancelled. And you can add these two terms. We have this expression now. We have to find out the capital X. Capital X is the amplitude. So we can take the under root on both sides. And then we can find out the value of capital X. F naught divided by A square plus B square. Now put the value of A and B. A, we assume that was equal to K minus M omega square. ये दोबारा स्क्वायर भी आना चाहिए था, मिस्टेक तो नहीं, हाँ मिस्टेक है. Anyhow, so this is K minus M omega square whole square plus CW square. B we assumed equal to CW, and A was K minus M omega square. Square here is missing, so please correct it. And then from the equation number 9, this equation number 9, sine of you can take this term on the right hand side, and then sine square cosine will be divided. So sine square over cos square, that is tan, that will be equal to b over a from this equation. So tan phi is equal to b over a, phi is equal to tan inverse b over a. Again put the value of a and b. So we have the amplitude, dynamic amplitude, and the phase angle in terms of the stiffness, mass, and the frequency of the exciting force. We can further simplify these two equations to find out the amplitude and the phase angle in terms of the frequency ratios and the damping ratios. Up to this point, any confusion, any question? Last time we did the same. We calculated the value of the amplification factor, and also we calculated phase angle, that we have not used that. The reason I will discuss later. Okay, but amplification we calculated previously. ठीक हो गया? Now we have to calculate the values of जी बेटा. Now we have to calculate the values of the dynamic amplitude and the phase angle in terms of the frequency ratio and the damping ratio. Omega n क्या होता है? This is the natural frequency of the undamped system. Omega n k over m under root. Zeta बताते जाओ यार, ये हमने बड़ी दफा किया हुआ है. Zeta is the I just want to ask you people to refresh your knowledge, because we are meeting after 3 or 4 weeks. Zeta is the
damping ratio.
Damping ratio, C over C. C is the damping coefficient. C is the Cc is the critical damping coefficient. Delta SC is the static displacement because of the equivalent static force F naught. Small r is the frequency ratio, frequency of the exciting force to the natural frequency of the system. Okay, this one I will discuss later. So up to this point, K minus M omega square whole square plus CW square. This one we have derived previously. What we can do now, we can divide the numerator and the denominator by K. ठीक है जी, 1 minus M omega square K plus C omega over K square, and then we can take mass in the denominator. K over M is, K over M क्या है? What is K over
Natural
M?
frequency.
This is the scale of the natural frequency.
Scale of natural frequency.
Scale of the natural frequency. So K over M is equal to omega n square over omega n square whole square plus here we have C over K omega. So we want to calculate C over K in terms of the natural frequency and the damping ratio. How can we calculate this one? We know C over M, that is equal to 2 zeta omega n. अगर आपको याद है, C over 2M is equal to zeta omega n. This relationship we have already known because C over M is equal to 2 zeta omega n. And then what we can do, we can divide the numerator and the denominator by K. And then C over K. C over K, we have to find out here. We want to find out the value of C over K. K over M, again omega n square. Omega n square we can take on the right hand side. So C over K comes out to be 2 zeta over omega n. 2 zeta over omega n. Put the value over C over K. 2 zeta over omega n. Omega is here. So 2 zeta omega over omega n. So this is omega over omega n, which is R 1 minus R square plus 2 zeta omega over omega n. This is the frequency ratio small r, and delta st we can take on the left hand side. What is capital X over delta st? Capital X over delta st.
Amplification factor.
Amplification factor.
Amplification factor.
Amplification factor is the function of frequency ratio and the damping ratio. R is the frequency ratio, zeta is the damping ratio. If damping is equal to 0, suppose damping is equal to 0, this term will be equal to 0. What we will have in that case? 1 minus R square whole square and then under root, it will be cancelled. So we will have 1 minus omega over omega square over omega n square, or 1 minus omega over omega n square. इसी तरह ही है. And this expression is the same as we have already derived for the undamped case. Zeta is equal to 0. यही था ना, अभी हमने डिस्कस किया था. 1 minus omega over omega n whole square. So this is the same. 1 minus R square when damping is equal to 0. So this is a similar expression. When we will consider damping zeta equal to 0. We can also find out the value phi or the phase angle in terms of damping ratio and the frequency ratio. Phi is equal to tan inverse CW over K minus M omega square. We can again divide the denominator and the numerator by K. ठीक हो गया जी. C over K, we have seen that it is equal to 2 zeta over omega n. So 2 zeta over multiplied by omega over omega n. 1 minus M omega square of K. Again, we can take M in the denominator. K over M is omega n square. So this is 1 minus R square. Phi is again the function of the damping ratio, zeta, and the frequency ratio, small r. R is equal to omega over omega n, and zeta is C over CR. ठीक हो गया जी? Any confusion, any question up to this point? बेटा आपको
No, sir.
चलें. Danish, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then we have to discuss how the damping ratio, how the amplification factor and the phase angle, they will vary with the change in the frequency ratio and the damping ratio. These are the graphs, and we will discuss these two graphs one by one. First graph is, this is very important. Try to understand. This is the plot of the amplification factor against the frequency ratio and the damping ratio. The magnification ratio at all frequencies are reduced with the increase in the damping. So with the increase in the damping in the system, the amplification factor will decrease for all the frequency ratios. दोबारा repeat कर रहा हूँ, it's important. With the increase in the damping in the system, a damping ratio, the amplification factor will decrease for all the frequency ratios. And the effect of damping on the amplification factor is maximum near the resonance when omega over omega n is equal to 1. The effect of damping on the amplification factor is maximum near the resonance. The magnification ratio approaches to 0 when the frequency ratio approaches to, the magnification factor approaches to 1 when the frequency ratio approaches to 0. Omega is equal to 0. The same thing which we have discussed for the undamped case. When the load is applying very slowly, in that case, the static displacement will be equal to the dynamic amplitude. And with the increase in the frequency ratio, the dynamic amplification factor will decrease. Same conclusions as we have already discussed. When the frequency of the exciting force is very, very high, when it will be approaches to infinity, the amplification factor will approaches to 0. Any question about this graph? Who can repeat? It's written in front of you. Just we have to repeat what I said. ये दानिश आप कर सकते हैं? Any volunteer first? अच्छा, चलें जी. कोई volunteer है? बट आपके सामने लिखा भी है, स्लाइड में आपके साथ शेयर करूंगा. रोल नंबर
मैं पढ़ लेता हूँ.
सर स्लाइड नजर नहीं आ रही.
रोल नंबर 16 ना स्लाइड शो कर देता हूँ बेटा आपको. दूसरा कौन है जिसने, क्योंकि रोल नंबर 16 का मैंने पहले नोट किया हुआ है.
14 करने दें. भाई ये
मैं स्लाइड शो करता हूँ बेटा आपको. और कौन है?
14 सर.
14 चलें जी. रोल नंबर 14. जस्ट वी हैव टू रिपीट व्हाटएवर आई सेड. आपने बताना है कि इसके किस तरह वेरी करता है. पहला फैक्टर क्या बेटा?
The magnification ratio at all frequencies is reduced with increased damping. The frequency ratio हमारा x axis के ऊपर है.
तो समझ के बताना है आपने. Simple words में ये है, with the increase in the damping in the system, the amplification factor will reduce for all frequency ratios. यही है ना. कोई भी frequency ratio अगर damping increase करेंगे तो amplification factor कम होगा. ठीक हो गया. Second,
the effect of damping on the magnification ratio is greatest at or near resonance.
Agree कर रहे हैं ना? You can see from this graph, the effect of damping on the magnification factor is maximum near the resonance. Resonance के करीब damping effect maximum होता है. ठीक हो गया? You can see from this graph. Thank you. And next point.
The magnification ratio approaches 1 as the frequency ratio approaches 0.
0. The magnification factor will be close to 1. It will be approaches to 1 when the frequency ratio is approaches to 0.
Approaching 0.
इसकी रीजन क्या है बेटा? Where omega over omega n approaches to 0. Omega n is a constant for a particular system. It cannot be changed unless you will change the system. ठीक है ना? But omega you can change. ठीक है? Roll number 14, are you there?
Yes, sir. Sir, it is dependent on the system that we are considering कि जो हमारा frequency ratio का जो omega है और
बेटा
जो
omega तो change कर सकते हो. Omega जो applied force, this is the frequency of the dynamic force. You can change that.
Yes, sir.
So if the frequency of the exciting force is very very low, ठीक है? इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? What does it mean? इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? बताए ना कि लोड जो एक्ट कर रहा है वो very slowly एक्ट कर रहा है. So effect of that load which is acting very slowly and the response of the static force, they are the same. Static displacement and the dynamic displacement, they are the same.
मतलब उसकी
वो जो लोड है वो almost static ही है. When omega 0 है,
अच्छा,
approaches to 0, इसका मतलब है लोड कि फ्रीक्वेंसी बहुत कम
Is
है, वो
almost
slowly
static.
expand है, almost static force है. So definitely if the
Alright.
load is approaches to the static force, उसकी उसी तरह की नेचर है कि जितना static force act कर रही है, तो response तो similar होना चाहिए ना. In that
Yes.
case, static displacement and dynamic displacement or the dynamic amplitude, they are almost the same. That's why when omega is approaches to 0 or omega over omega n is approaches to 0, it is equal
Frequency
to
ratio. Magnification ratio
amplification
approaches.
factor is equal to 1. And the last point,
The magnification ratio approaches 0 as the frequency ratio approaches infinity.
when frequency of the exciting force is very, very high as
बहुत
compared
ज़्यादा.
to the natural frequency of the system, in that case, the amplification factor will be approaches to 0. And this one we have already witnessed in the experiment. देखा है ना
इसकी
आपने
वीडियो भी
वीडियो में देखा था जब फ्रीक्वेंसी बहुत ज्यादा हो गई थी at that at high frequency the first model was almost static.
almost static. Yes sir.
ठीक हो गया.
Yes sir.
Okay, the next is how the phase angle is changing with the frequency ratio and the damping ratio. Let's consider the first case when damping is equal to 0. Damping 0 means कौन सा केस है? This is the previous case. क्या ख्याल है? Damping is equal to 0. Undamped case. There is no damping in the system. So when the damping is equal to 0, in that case, either the phase angle is equal to 0 or 180 degree. Either the response is in phase or out of phase. Either it is 0 degree or 180 degree. Look at here. For omega over omega n less than 0. Oh, sorry, omega over omega n less than 1. Ye line. Let me check this line. The phase angle is equal to 0 degree. For the undamped case, damping is equal to 0. This is the line for damping is equal to 0. ठीक है? When omega over omega n less than 1 and the system is undamped, in that case, the response is in phase with the applied loading. And when omega over omega n is greater than 1, ठीक है? In that case, phi will be equal to 180 degree. So this is the reason why we have not taken phi in the response for the undamped case, because we know that just to make it simple, otherwise answer at the end will be either it is 0 or 180 degree. When omega over omega n less than 1, phi is equal to 0. When omega over omega n greater than 1, phi is 180 degree, either in phase or out of phase. Okay, so that's why we have not considered or we have not calculated phi for the undamped case, but we have considered the phi for the damped case, because that phase angle also depend on the damping ratio. Let's see how the phase angle will change with the damping ratio. When for the damped system, damping is greater than 0. Again, when the frequency ratio is less than 1. Look at here. Damping is not equal to 0 and the frequency ratio is less than 1. This part. The phase angle is less than 90 degree and the response lags the excitation. Okay? Response lags the excitation. When this omega over omega n will be greater than 1, in that case, the phase angle will be 90 to 180 degree. Yeah, part. The phase angle will be 90 to 180 degree, and it will be approaches to 180 degree for a very high frequency ratios. ठीक है, ये ऊपर जा रहे हैं. Again, I can repeat. When damping is equal to 0, phase angle is either 0 degree or 180 degree. For omega over omega n less than 1, this is equal to 0 degree. And for omega over omega n greater than 1, it is equal to 180 degree. For the damped system, when there is damping in the system, zeta greater than 0, in that case, again, if r is less than 1, omega over omega n is less than 1, this part, the phase angle is 0 to 90 degree, and if r is greater than 1, this part, and there's some damping in the system, the phase angle will be from 90 to 180 degree, and it will be approaches to 180 degree for very high frequency ratios. ठीक हो गया जी? Any question? जी बेटा.